And remember to subscribe to Based Boxing Basement and like. Let's talk boxing.
Yes. Hello, Wagwan. So, let's talk boxing. That's my new intro, I think, like David Diamante. And I'll get onto that Batty man again. Yeah, I found out some new information. I'm sick of hearing about it. But I want to talk firstly about Savannah Marshall. Yeah. Now, Savannah, she boxed last night. Now, usually I would, if I'm not interested in women's boxing. I can only remember one women's boxing match I watched with any interest. I said Ebony Bitches, Shannon Courtney. That's only because I wanted to see one of them get chinned. So it's a kind of negative reason to watch it. I've never, ever watched another women's boxing match, out of choice. But Savannah Marshall, so yeah, you know what I've got to say, I was pleasantly surprised in a way, yeah. I mean, she seems quite likable as well, quite shy. I like that, But when she was boxing, yeah, she had this quite fluid like style, She was moving well, switching stance, that kind of thing, She seemed very relaxed. I liked it. I think someone said in commentary she looked like a female Tyson Fury. That may be pushing it, but I thought that was nice. She's not that quick of hand. Yeah, her hand speed is not that quick. She's a bit slow. But she has power. Well, certainly for a woman, she has power. So that was, I think, her. I don't know, 11. No, hang on. How many she had? 11 fights, 12 fights, and all but 2 have been KOs or stoppages. Now that's incredible for a woman. Like even for a man, that's a good. That's a good knockout percentage, But, unlike most other women who have like 10% max knockout stoppage, this lady's, I don't know what it is, 90% or something, almost 90% stoppage record. Maybe 85%. Anyway, so, you know what, if she's on, I'll watch her. Now, don't get me wrong, right? It's not that simple. I'm not converted to women's boxing or am I a big fan of Savannah Marshall's? Yeah, I just think she's watchable. Yeah, that's as far as I'm saying it. Plus, hopefully she'll shut that Clarissa Big Mouth Shields mouth up for good, knock her out, because she's the so-called GWOAT who splashes Britain with superstardom glitter, according to Adam Smith. She's the GWOAT. What a stupid name, anyway. She's even got clothes with a GWOAT written on the back. What a tool, man. You don't self-appoint yourself that, man. That's typical American nonsense, ghetto nonsense. But, so Savannah Marshall. So, on the good side, firstly, she stopped a girl in 3 rounds, although this girl was like, fairly incompetent, a rug muncher. And, and she will stop people. But, you got to look deeper than that, right? Yeah? What is the quality of these people that she stopped? I mean, most of them are terrible. They can't really fight. They got weak chins. Yeah, so you got to bear that in mind. And Savannah Marshall punches harder for a woman, but she's not exactly explosive. Women got thinner skulls and stuff like that. So they're more susceptible to being knocked out. Tyan Booth, for example, has 100% KO record over women in the streets, so that shows you. And in my preview of the fight, or rough preview, I said on the undercard it's Florian Marcoux, yeah, he's a guy called Chris Jenkins, ex-British champion. Now, these guys are welterweights, so they're like almost 14 pounds less, yeah, 13 pounds less than Savannah Marshall, yeah. And Marcoux, I said he was Southern area level. That's not fair. He's British level, definitely. He's not the most fluid boxer, but he's got power. And I still stand by what I said. Yeah, Savannah Marshall's meant to be like the pound for pound second or something in the world, or at least in the top 5 or something. She's a top middleweight. Yeah, she's killed most of her opponents with ease. Yeah, but let me tell you, as I said before, Yeah, she's meant to be a world-class fighter. If Florian Marku or Chris Jenkins boxed her, as welterweights, they would knock her out in a round easily. It wouldn't even be a competition. I mean, that's the difference in levels. And people are like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do know what I'm talking about. It's you that don't know what you're talking about, yeah? Let me give you some examples, right? So there was of men vs women matches in other sports. So, Serena Williams, right? She's one of the Williams brothers, Venus and Serena, the two Williams brothers. And they, Serena it's enormous for a woman, really muscular. There are a lot of rumors about enhancing stuff, but maybe not. Maybe just a big lady. Yeah, she's got an oil driller, by the way, as a husband, and Venus as well has got an oil driller. Now Richard, the father, Richard Williams, he hated white people. He's always slagging them all. He must be gutted. Yeah, that both his daughters, have turned to oil drillers, but they probably treat them nice. Good on them. Oil drillers are usually quite nice to their women. Now, Serena Williams, right? So this woman was like the best ever, woman player, and the most muscular and the hardest hitting, no doubt. Yeah, and she would just roll over most women. Now, she played a guy in an exhibition match. I don't even know what his name is, but he's ranked 300 or less in the world for men's tennis, and he wiped the floor with her. Yeah. So you'll talk about the best woman of all time with a muscular physique, hard-hitting, and a man, number 300 in the world, wiped the floor with her. Yeah? And then there's this thing, they did this thing in Australia, right? They had the national Australian women's, I'll call it soccer team, yeah, because that's what they call it, right? And soccer is more of a women's sport in Australia, yeah? The men, a bit more macho, aren't they? The Aussies, they don't. They play rugby and Aussie rules and stuff like that. But so the women's team, which is considered, I think, a decent team. I don't know where it's rated, but it must be the top 20, if not the top 10. And so a team of just a school team of, I think it's under 15s, right, males. Under 15. So they haven't even completed puberty properly. They're going through it. They haven't grown to their full height and strength. Yeah, you remember you were 14, man. You just didn't have anything like the strength you had when you were 21. Yeah? But these 14-year-olds beat the Aussie national team 7-0. An arse whipping. Yeah? 14-year-old boys. That shows you the golf. So if anybody says, Katie Taylor's as good as some of the men. No, she ain't. She would get ironed flat out by a club fighter 2 weights below, or an amateur who wasn't even that good. The difference in strength and speed and power, toughness, is a world apart. Anyway, but like I said, Savannah Marshall, I'll give her some respect. I actually kind of enjoyed watching her. I will watch the Shields fight. I won't pay for it. Believe, no way on earth, unless there's some super co-main event with the men. And the other thing about Savannah Marshall, right? Where you got to understand, she's allegedly a world champion and one of the best. Yeah. How many women's middleweight fighters are there? Right. There are 29 women's fighters in the middleweight division. 29. Yeah? How many men pro middleweights are there that have been active? 1,419 men. I mean, come on, man. Yeah? Savannah is the best out of 29 women. Whereas whoever the top middleweight you reckon is the best out of almost 1,500 men. Yeah, you know what that equates to? For every woman middleweight pro boxer, there are 49 men. I mean, come on, man. How can you take that seriously? And the other thing, yeah, about Savannah, what's her name, Marshall, is she's got no opponents. I mean, none of them 29 are any good. Yeah, the old alleged GWOAT, the Michael Nunn of female boxing, and I mean that in her looks, not her style. Claressa Shields. I think she's moving up in weight, or at least she's naturally smaller. I mean, and she's awful. I mean, what I mean is, okay, for a woman fighter, she has reasonable skills, but she has no power. And she still looks rubbish. That's for a global superstar. I mean, every time Adam Smith opens his stupid mouth, his thin-lipped mouth, I want to take a hammer to him. And how can you, by the way, I'm not saying you should do that. I say I feel like it. Yeah. How can you spend, 25 plus years commentating on boxing? You've got the best ringside seats, watching the biggest fights, man. And still, nothing about boxing. You don't know a left hook from a coat hook, or whatever they say. He's such a clown. Man. And as for his new boyfriend, Ben Shalom. Shalom, Ben. Yeah, we'll rinse him out. We'll rinse him out later, right? Now, before I move on, I wanted... The other thing that I noticed about, Savannah Marshall fight, and I realized, and I looked at other women fighters as well, right, is they age terribly, man. The women fighters look so old. Yeah? So, excuse me, just ringside. That's a nice cup of tea. Just ringside, yeah? There was the Clarissa Shields, right? She's 27, man. I look at her, like... And, what do they say? Black don't crack. The skin it doesn't wrinkle that much. But, I mean, look, she looked about 45. And she's 27, man. Yeah, Marshall as well. She's 30. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't look too bad, but she still looks 35. She doesn't look 30. Yeah, so that's a 5-year age difference. Yeah, of course, there's Shannon Courtney. I mean, I think she's 30 or 30 odd. The leather-faced, yeah, baseball catcher's mitt, Shannon Courtney. Yeah, she looks 45 as well. A rough old barmaid that's been around the block. Yeah, women fighters just age terribly like soured milk, man. Yeah, Ebony Rich is right. So she's allegedly the prettiest one. She's 35. I checked. Yeah, facially, yeah, she doesn't look too bad. She looks only maybe 38, maybe 40. Yeah, but she got the body of at least a 45-year-old woman, She got that old granny batty, when it's flat, it's not got a good shape, yeah, but it's still flabby, even though it's flat, yeah, and I've already spoken to her about how much it must stink there, so that that's not great, man. That's not great. Yeah, and the woman that Savannah was fighting, what's her name, Femke Hermans or something, all right. I thought this woman must be in her 40s, 32, yeah, and she's an ugly woman as well, man, quite a masculine jaw, but 32, again, she looked 45. What is it with these women boxers all looking 45, man? That Sky Nicholson looks all right, but she is only 22, man. Well, let's wait till she's 30. She'll probably look 45 too. I don't know, man. There's something weird going on with that, man. Enough about women's boxing, man. I can only talk about it for a limited amount of time. Now, to my horror. Now, I'd already said I don't want to talk about David A. Diamante. David the arsehole Diamante. You must be able to call him. Because I've already had 2 vids on this idiot lies, on his alleged motorcycle crash. However, I found some new information. Yeah. Now, I mentioned before that he'd allegedly had another crash, right, in 2017. Now, so I looked a bit around about this, and what did I find out, right? Yet again, he almost died. No joke, man. Apparently, he almost died. Now, I said, what? I thought I'm going to research this a bit now. Yeah. So I looked into some articles. I found it happened on March the 10th in San Francisco, right? Apparently, it resulted in multiple breaks. What do you got? You got one article that says 6 places breaks, 5 in one arm, and one in a tibia fracture. Yeah, another one says 9. Yeah, like Diamante doesn't even remember what his lies are like. Yeah, loads and countless hours of physical therapy. However, yeah. It says here, this is from the article, a miraculous recovery saw him riding again less than 2 months later and calling games 2 days later. And this is a quote from the idiot, man, the fantasist. The doctor said he's never seen anything like it. Puffing on his stream of cigars, titled Diamantes in his Brooklyn cigar lounge. I still feel pain. The arm will never be the same. I was lucky to be alive. My arm actually broke off my body. The meat alone was keeping it on the... The miracle man. The Wolverine. Right? Did you listen to that? Yeah? He said the arm came off his body. It actually broke off his body. The meat alone was keeping it on us. So the entire arm was severed, apparently. So it's gone from like fractures and a few breaks to actually coming off, and he almost died. And this is from the man's lying, toad mouth. Yeah? Forget the fight starts now. You know, he should change that. The lies start now, fool. I mean, it's just incredible. Yeah? So I checked out his social media on the March 10th onwards dates. Yeah, of course. So Instagram and Twitter. Yeah? Neither of them mention any such crash at all. Yeah? There's a short break between the 7th and I think the 21st of March. Yeah, but he probably just, like his most recent fake crash, he probably went into drug stupor or something and disappeared for a bit. And there's no mention that he called any game 2 days on the 12th of March. I couldn't find any mention of that. Yeah, and he talks all the time on Twitter. He's got like 8,000 tweets, you know. But yeah, amazingly, he's never tweeted about either of his near-death crashes or, you know, his miraculous recovery or calling games 2 days afterwards. He's just a fantasist. He's a liar. Yeah? He's got severe case, as I said, yeah, of Munchausen syndrome. But it's pathological, man. I mean, how can you just lie all that? It's just... And think you're not going to get found out. His arm was actually broken off his body. That's a quote. Yeah? And you imagine, right? It's not just the fact that he's a fantasist and he's a liar. Yeah? Loads of people get killed in car crashes, motorcycle crashes, get paralyzed, get severely injured. You know, they're life-changing injuries. They're never the same. Even guys that get busted up with a few broken legs and fractures, they're never quite the same. I've met people that have lost the use of their arms. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Real life-changing stuff, yeah? And then Diamante but Diamante for his own ego, yeah? For attention, makes up these 2 crashes. That's disrespectful to the guys that he messed up, right? Like if I was injured, if I was in New York, and I was injured and I'd be paralyzed or something, yeah? Yeah? I'd wheel myself over to his cigar shop in New York. I'd wheel myself over. I would refuse to leave until the bumperclot white dread Drexel man come out with his stupid, I'd pretend to buy a cigar, and I would rinse him and I'd film him. I'd let him know you're a liar. Look at the state of me, man. Yeah, let's see all these bits of metal in your back. Let's see all these cuts and these surgical. I mean, you know, the miracle man. You know, I'd be angry. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that man no more. Right, so finally, you know, I want to talk about some weirdness that's throwing its head around this Spatty business in boxing again. Now, so Tyan Booth, yeah, Tyan Booth. I'm a big Tyan Booth fan, you know. I never used to really watch much YouTube until Tyan Booth started doing his rinses, you know, especially the early ones, man. They were super. He has to be a bit more restricted now because he got banned, and he wants that bag, as he says. But yeah, so you know what? I didn't used to watch. I mean, I'd watch the odd video, but I wouldn't ever subscribe to any channels or anything. But you know, he kind of changed the game. He's unique, man. So I still watch all his videos. But in his last live, he said, and he's talked right. There's been quite a few times when he's talking about taking it up the batty hole. Yeah. He claims, you know, and he's always gone about an alleged G-spot for a man is in his batty. Now, I don't know if that's a myth, man. I don't know, apparently it tickles the prostate. It's nothing to the batty hole, it's the prostate, but so what, man? If anything, that's just a quirk, but, you know, it's probably a myth anyway, you know? I don't know, the G-spot is like the end of your tool, man. You know, that's the sensitive bit where you bust a nut. I don't believe this batty G-spot thing. But he's talked about this about many times. And he said he kissed a tranny, right? Now, this is worrying me, yeah? Because, you know, like, I find it hard to respect, you know, a man who's into batty business because it's just so bizarre, yeah? And Tyan, in his last TFL live, said he would be up for pegging. Yeah, you know what pegging is? When a woman wears like a plastic ting and she sticks out your batty hole. Why? I mean, and he starts going, oh, it's not really a batty man ting because it's a girl doing it. Well, it's not a girl doing it. Yeah, it's a bit of rubber, which should be shaped like a man's tool, man. Don't go down that path. Now, I hope Tyan's joking, right? Because he likes to be controversial. I hope he's just like taking the mick. I hope to goodness, because that's how it starts. Yeah? Pegging, yeah? You start off with a woman stick her fingers like your batty hole, then she pegs you. Yeah? And before you find out, you know, you're in the gay club, you're upstairs sucking brother's dick. Yeah? That's what the next step is, you know, like, and Tyan was at the Ingle gym, which we know is very dodgy, very, very fruity, man. Yeah? You know, it's got Galahad, who's never had a girlfriend, he admits. Kilbrook, you know, he doesn't need much more information, you know, we all know that about the ketamine and the blade story, and you know, I mean, the way he talks anyway. Yeah? And he's been photographed on the beach with Galahad, Brooke, and Dominic Ingle completely naked, walking around like it's a bit of fun. Yeah, there was Junior Witter, another batty man. Yeah, it's very odd. Dominic Ingle drinking that sweat. I mean, it looked like he'd gone around a gym and collected a DNA sample from every man in there and swigged it down. It was disgusting, man. It turned my stomach, you know. Why would you do that, you know? Especially to young guys, remember you're a fighter. Nazim Hamed, of course, was there. He definitely was not into batty business, but... yeah, I might expose... He's got a brother called Riyadh, who's well known to be into batty business. Obviously, to keep it on a down low, because it's haram. Yeah? So, you know... But Riyadh didn't box anyway. But definitely, the Ingle gym is fruity. Yeah, my dog's snoring again. Anyway, you know, I'm not going to stop him, man. You know, so what? Yeah, so the time move thing's a bit worrying, because there's this guy called True Geordie. Yeah, he's this big lump. Very successful channel, mainly football, but generally he does MMA, boxing too. You know, he's like a typical kind of lump with stupid tattoos. And I haven't watched any of his videos, not a single one. I'm no interest. And anyway, so there's this conversation he had with some woman, yeah? And this is how it starts, right? And he's like saying, oh, yeah, I want to get a you know, a black dough, yeah? And I want to stick it inside of you, and then I want to stick it at your batty hole, yeah? And this is direct quote, and then I want to lick your ass juice, you know, off the ting. What on earth would you do something like that? Oh, yeah, he goes, oh, and I want you to humiliate me and tell me how weak I am and how small my ting is compared to the dildo. What kind of sickness is going on here? Yeah? Yeah? This is a guy, he gave Tyan 100 quid, so he goes on about that a lot. But that's the next level, man. Yeah? And then before you know it, you're like partying with Oscar De La Hoya in the kitchen. Spatulas are coming out. Yeah? The whisks are coming out. Yeah? Oscar's wearing Victoria's Secret. Yeah? And then he's sticking things up your batty hole. And then before you know it, you're like Tony Bellen's brother, Liam. It's a slippery slope, man. You're like Tony Bellen's brother. You married some bear who's into fisting and stuff, you know, and you're the bottom. Yeah? It's a slippery slope to pegging. So I urge Tyan, don't go down that path. Please, I hope you're joking, man. I hope you're joking, because you know what? I don't want to imagine this kind of sickness goes on at your house, but yeah, keep it real anyway. Anyway, that'll do for now. Yeah, I'll speak later.